Aloha, beautiful people. Welcome to A Better World with Adrienne. Welcome to the portal of transformation, joy, abundance, connection, and tools to support you in your journey. I know that this episode is very, very, very important. So today we are diving into energetic hygiene, how to spot a charlatan, which a charlatan is someone who says there's something that they're not. We're going to go deep into energetic hygiene, discernment, and all of these elements. And why is this important? Why am I creating this episode? Why does this matter? Because as we are unlocking a better world, as we move forward in new earth, this is spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare, and there are entities of darkness, whether they are deliberate through the human that's channeling them or not, that are designed to advance the agenda of darkness, the agenda of oppression, the agenda of keeping people out of their power. And so I'm recording this during eclipse season. I'm recording this at the second iteration of the Libra South Node eclipse in 2024. And there's just a lot of injustices around the world. There are a lot of energies being released, being purged into the ether. And it is up to us to not be in fear. However, be very aware, be very discerning, be very in our power, and really learn about how this all presents. So that's what today's episode is. It really is. It's a very strategic and important episode, because what I see a lot is, if you're in my world, if you are a new earth leader, if you're in the game of like, hey, I'm committed to building a better world and I'm committed to doing my part in that. You're an empath, you're a lover, you're a fighter, you are someone who believes in abundance, and you really see the good in all people. And here's the thing, I see the good in all people too. And it's been to my detriment many times in my life, because I see right through behavior to someone's soul. Okay, but here's the thing. Just because you can see someone's soul, just because you can know someone's soul, just because you can acknowledge someone's true soul, doesn't mean they're not operating for the darkness, doesn't mean their behavior doesn't get to be held radically fucking accountable, and doesn't mean that they're not a charlatan, a sheep or a wolf in sheep's clothes trying to pull a once over on people, whether they realize it or not, whether it's conscious or not. Okay, so this is really important. We're going to talk about like holy boundaries and all of this. So let's begin, shall we? Welcome to the podcast. Let's call upon the altar. Let us call upon the altar. So today on the altar, I have an unscented white candle. This is purifying the space. This is calling all our healed ancestors, our healed guides, all of the angels in to bless this transmission. And remember, the altar is saying thank you to spirit in advance. Thank you for this opportunity to serve. Thank you for this opportunity to channel. Thank you for this opportunity to co-create something that will synergize for love, peace, harmony, bliss on our planet. I have a white rose because I continue to be obsessed with white roses. It literally is just the purest form of heart medicine. The purest form of heart medicine. And isn't that what the whole world needs? Heart medicine. Heart medicine. Medicine from the heart. I have my citrine crystals representing prosperity and abundance for all people. I have my mermaid statue representing the magical, mystical, divine feminine that lives within each of us, that comes from the ocean, that comes from Mother Earth, that comes from Gaia, this ancient code of creation and magic. I have bright pink hibiscus on the altar, representing again, love, unconditional love, the heart. And pink and red go together. With red is safety, the root chakra. And then finally, on the altar, I have my Ganeshas, the God, the remover of obstacles. May this transmission be a remover of obstacles in the path of every single person who receives it. And may it be for the highest timeline and good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wherever you are, whether you're listening in the car, on a walk, sitting down, laying down, spinning, dancing, skipping, let's take 3 deep breaths together to connect our energy and fully open the transmission. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Just shake out your body. Let everything go from the day and be here now. Inhale through the nose. This time, a purple light covers your third eye, opening your intuition to new awareness, new information, new knowing, new sight. Exhale out the mouth. Feel your feet more rooted on Mother Earth. Final breath, inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top, open your crown, open yourself to the messages, and allow yourself to be tuned as an instrument of spirit. Keep holding because you can, because you're capable, because you're strong. Maybe you smile. Just bringing your awareness to the present moment as you are. Exhale out the mouth. Gently open your eyes. Come back to this day, this time, this location, this body, all of the things, and may we open this transmission. The stage is set. Our energy is connected. Let's talk about how to spot a charlatan and protect your energy. So in the intro, I was sharing, hey, why does this matter? Why is it important? There are charlatans left, right, and center on Earth. And something that I really got initiated into when I moved to Maui, I had no idea I was moving to the land of charlatans. I had no idea. And it's been very disturbing for me. It's been deeply, deeply disturbing for me to see the amount of charlatans in my daily life here. Because first, it's just different from Chicago. In Chicago, nobody's I mean, of course, there are charlatans in Chicago. There's charlatans everywhere, but like, it's not a space that's like super spiritual at the helm. Like, it just isn't. It's a place of ambition, a place of grit, a place of, you know, it's just different. It's a whole different culture. And so when I moved here, it was very alarming to me right away with how many people claim to be healers. Like literally everyone here, not everyone, that's a gross generalization. And I do want to preface this by saying there are amazing, wonderful people here that have become my family, my ohana, like for real. And at the very same time, I've been deeply, deeply disturbed by the amount of people that call themselves a healer and they don't walk the walk. They call themselves a healer and they're not. And it's deeply disturbing to me. And what's also disturbing to me is the amount of people that don't see it, even within themselves sometimes. And so this is my job. This is, as a guide, as a teacher, is like, I help people see things. I see through bullshit. So that's why this matters. It's like, it's so prevalent and it's become so prevalent in my daily life. Like I've been wanting to share this transmission for a while and I'm like, okay, When's the right time? When's the right time? When's the right time? I'm like, boom, karmic purging with the South Node eclipse. We're going to talk about charlatans. So let's get into it, because I said to a client in the past few months, I was like, be aware of charlatans. And they were like, what's a charlatan? And I immediately was like, oh my God, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this, because if we don't know the language of what it is, how are we even going to be able to spot it? How are we even going to be able to, move through it and see it powerfully? So what is a charlatan? A charlatan is someone who masquerades as something that they're not. It's someone who pretends there's something that they're not. It's a faker, it's a poser, it's a false claim. Okay. And so I will give a very, very strong example for you, okay, of a charlatan. And there's a lot of charlatans in breathwork. And I knew this would happen. I saw it through my third eye years ago, because with Pluto and Aquarius, Aquarius is fixed air. Entities that don't have our best interest at heart know the power of the nervous system, know the power of the breath. And so they have employed people that are puppets of darkness, with most of them don't even realize it, to facilitate breath work in such a way that they don't know how to hold people's trauma. And so people get traumatized by breath work, and then they fear breath work. And then guess what? People never do breath work again, and because they're scared of it, when it's the very thing that will liberate them, when it's the very thing that will set them free, when it's the very thing they've been seeking their whole lives. And I have a really, really, really big problem with this. This is wrong, and we get to talk about it. So here's one example of a charlatan. All right. I was at the beach, and someone who was smoking a cigarette told me they were a shaman. And I was like, wow, this is worse than I thought. Because if you were really a shaman, there's no fucking way you'd put that poison in your body. There's no way. And maybe this person has codes. I'm sure they have codes. We all have codes, but it's like, if you're poisoning yourself and you're claiming that you're a healer, you're a charlatan. Because what is a charlatan? It's someone who masquerades as something that they're not. And this is a huge, huge, huge problem in the spiritual space. And so what I really want to get into is, how do you spot a charlatan? Like, what are the key things to look out for? Because, we all want to believe the best in people. And it's not about not believing in humanity. It's not about becoming jaded. It is about having heightened discernment now more than ever, because there are charlatans left, right, and center. There are fakers left, right, and center. Everybody and their mom calls themselves a healer. Everybody and their mom calls themselves an astrologer. I find it really, I've learned to laugh at it a lot, but it still makes me upset when I see people sharing about astrology and they have no idea what they're talking about. Or they just are regurgitating a horoscope. And it's like, a lot of it's harmless, but it's like, do you have respect for the medicine that you're serving up, that you're sharing? Like, do you even know about it? Or are you just, talking about it, pretending? And this is the same reason why people struggle with imposter syndrome so much, because it's like, most people wouldn't have imposter syndrome if they actually just became experts in what they say they're an expert in. You know what I'm saying? So why does this matter? Because New Earth will be built with incredible energetic hygiene, and all of these charlatans are, whether they do it consciously or not, are hijacking your energy, hijacking your energetic field, hijacking your healing, hijacking your mindset. Like, spiritual warfare is a thing. Spiritual attacks are a thing. Like, a lot of times when your mind is spinning, or you have a lot of doubt, or there's a lot of chaos, it's like, I once had, my root chakra was so unhinged for like 6 months, and I did not feel like me. I was like, what's going on? Like all of this thing. And I finally had a really deep session with my shaman, and she was like, you've had a spirit on you for months and months and months attached to your root chakra. And that's when I got really, really, really serious about my energetic hygiene. And so I want you to get really, really serious about your energetic hygiene, because your most valuable resource is not your money. Your most valuable resource is your life force energy. And these entities, these charlatans, are energy vampires. They suck the life force out of you. They suck the belief out of you. They suck the joy out of you. They suck the love out of you. They literally feed off of it. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying this to be like, hey, this is reality. All right. And a lot of people won't say spiritual warfare because they don't want to ruffle feathers, but it's like, this is spiritual warfare. Like what's going on in Gaza and the genocide is literally a blood ritual of the darkness. That's what it is. And this is why I started a podcast, because I can't say that shit on social media without getting canceled. All right. But we get to say it here because we believe in the truth at all costs. All right. The cost is high. The reward is great, as Maya Angelou said. And, it'll cost us our comfort zone. It'll cost us being liked. It'll cost us being popular, maybe. It'll cost us, some old beliefs, some fairy tales, some fantasies. But the reward is great. The reward is we're going to build new earth based in truth. And that's just like Harry Potter. I keep saying this, but I know J.K. Rowling channeled that so we could see what it is for dark and light to go toe to toe in the 3D plane. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Okay, so let's get into it, because charlatans are everywhere and we get to see right through it, so we can decide, hey, who do I want to work with? Who do I want to trust? Who do I let into my life? Who do I let into my energetic field? All of these things. And it's not about perfection, and it's not about not making mistakes. And again, it's not about not believing in people or being jaded. It's about being aware, being strategic, and holding a standard for what you allow in your life, especially your spiritual life. Especially your spiritual life. Because I just think about all those people who have been deeply traumatized by breathwork because they had charlatans as facilitators. And it makes me super sad, and it makes me super mad. And I want you to know what to look for when you're looking for people to help you, to guide you, and to surround yourself, and to open up your most vulnerable part of you, which is your soul. Okay? So let's get into it. I have 8 snappy, specific, tangible things you can run with today about how to spot a charlatan. And then I'm going to go into how to protect your energy after that. So first thing, how to spot a charlatan. They don't live what they teach. If you see someone teaching something and they're not living it, run, don't walk in the opposite direction. And it's not about them not being human. It's not about them not having shortcomings as a human. It's not about any of that. It's like, are they living their core values? Are they living what they say? Okay. So that one example, that person on the beach told me they were shaman. They're smoking a fucking cigarette. I didn't say one more word to them. I just walked away. I don't owe them anything. I've had multiple people come up to me on the beach. I think just because I'm a very joyful person and I smile and I wave. And there was this one guy, it was a different guy. He asked me a few different times, to get together with him. And I could feel that his energy wasn't clean. And he was like, you keep saying no. And, I thought you were a real spiritual soul. And it's like, all of that is fucking bullshit. All of that is them being a charlatan. All of that is them trying to manipulate you into not believing what you know. And I turned to the person and I said, having boundaries is a sacred responsibility. And just because I say no to you doesn't mean I'm not spiritual. And, not having no boundaries is a huge sign of a dirty energy, unclean energy, which a lot of people might be like, ooh, I can't believe she just said dirty, but that's what it is. It's not clean. It's dirty. There's something wrong. It's tainted. There's just something wrong. Okay. And so a lot of this with the discernment, it's like, trust your knowing, but use these tools. Okay. So if they don't live what they teach, they're a charlatan. Move on. Okay. Second thing, if they haven't created their own transformation, they're a charlatan. Okay. That's another thing that I see a lot in breathwork is people will be like, I want to get started. I want to become a breathwork facilitator. I'm like, cool. Tell me about your journey with breathwork. And they're like, I've never done it. And I'm like, wow, that's not right. You must, if you're going to pour the medicine, you got to know the medicine first and foremost through yourself. So anytime I see anything like that, like someone should be, there's charlatans in all different ways. What I'm talking about a lot right now is like charlatans with healers, but there can be charlatans in anything. Like it's just someone who masquerades as something that they're not. But I see it a lot in the spiritual space. And it's like, they should be their greatest testimonial. Like I am my greatest testimonial. There's a reason why. And it's not like, oh, I'm holier than thou and like better than blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I do believe that people aren't better than other people. However, they're definitely better choices. And so everyone's on their own path and not everybody is meant to be a huge leader. Charlatans actually serve their purpose because we are meant to learn how to discern through the smoke and mirrors, right? So if they haven't created their own transformation, run, don't walk in the opposite direction. That is a charlatan. Okay. Third thing, if they're not trained, certified, or studied, they're a charlatan. So I really believe that most people, like one way you can tell that someone's actually semi-legit is if they are trained or certified. Now, does that always mean everything? No. However, it does show that like, hey, they've done something to really be in the work. And like another thing is studied. So like, for example, my career as a musician, I've been studying and playing music and competing since I was 4 years old. That's literally 18 years. No, 28 years. This is why I'm not a mathematician. 28 years. That means I'm studied. That means I'm trained. I have 2 degrees, I've taken like 40 plus major auditions. Like I've won a full-time job, like all of this, I'm trained, certified, and studied, right? And so a lot of my most powerful mentors, like they created their own modalities, but that was because they were in deep self-study, right? And they've had other kinds of trainings, right? So I think we're definitely moving away from like, oh, everybody needs to be a certified coach. And it's like, what does that even mean? However, you got to be trained, certified, and studied in some way. Otherwise, you're a charlatan. Otherwise, you're someone who just wants to jump on the bandwagon without any of the real things. Okay? So fourth thing, how to spot a charlatan. So this is really like how to see one, how to notice one. And It's the first thing they say, and it's used as a flex. So I really come back to the example of, I was born and raised in Michigan in the United States, and the University of Michigan is a very powerful institution. It is a high quality school, university. But there's a joke that you always will know if somebody went to Michigan or not in the first 5 minutes you meet them, because they always use it as a flex. They always use it as a brag. And it's like, okay, so something that I really pay attention to is like, if the first thing someone says to me is like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, it's like, and it has that energy of like, this is a flex. To me, that's a red flag. That's a sign of a charlatan, because a charlatan will be like constantly trying to prove themselves because they know deep down something's off. And someone who's embodied in their work, like, yeah, it might come up in your first conversation with them just because they're obsessed about it, but it's not like this thing of like, oh, I'm a healer, I'm a savior. It's like that savior energy. That's a charlatan. None of that. That's not new earth. That's all fake. Okay. Number 5, they don't charge well for their gifts, for their services, for their medicine. This is a huge one, especially in energetic hygiene, and is something that I've really been tasked with engaging with here on Maui, because I've been in the online healing bubble, online coaching bubble, online spiritual teaching bubble for years now. And I have moved through a lot in terms of the broke healer paradigm and the starving artist paradigm, and people operating under this idea that you have to be broke to be a good person. And it actually is the direct opposite, because when we're not resourced, we pour dirty medicine. We pour from an empty cup, which is an illusion. It's just extracting your own life force, and it's not good for you. It's not good for the people that you're quote unquote helping. And so one way you can spot a charlatan from far away is if they are not charging. And I'm talking about money. Yes, they're what they charge for their services. Like, that's a huge red flag to me. Like, I would never allow anybody to touch my energy, to be in a place of healing me, or not that anybody heals me, but holding space for healing or guiding me or coaching me. That is not charging well, because that says everything about the amount of work they've done, the state of their whole, orientation. That's a huge one. You couldn't pay me to let that person touch my energy. You couldn't pay me. So that's something to be really, really aware of. It's like when you go into a store and you want to buy something and it's like so low, you're like, why is it so low? Why is it so cheap? What's wrong with it? Like, that's what I immediately think. It's like, why is it so cheap? What's wrong with it? That's not the frequency. You know what I'm saying? So that's a huge way to spot a charlatan. Okay, the last one, or there's 3 more. There's a lot. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is serving you. I hope you're taking notes, because like, this stuff is so prevalent, y'all. Stuff is so prevalent. Okay, number 6, how to spot a charlatan. They don't welcome questions, and they don't know the science behind what they're doing. Okay, so if someone doesn't welcome questions about what they're doing, that's an immediate sign that they're a charlatan. Okay, they should celebrate your questions. They should welcome your questions. They should want to answer your questions. And this is different than, someone being in a bunch of fear and blocking their own blessings, and like in something about like, oh, I don't know if I want to spend money on this or not. That's not what I'm talking about. It's like if someone's new to breath work or new to my modality and they ask me questions about what a session is, I'm happy to help them. I'm happy to support them. I'm happy to answer questions. If people want to ask about the science behind breath work, I'm happy to send them articles. I'm happy to engage with them, all of that. It's a fine line between like, if someone is just like trying to tear apart what you're doing, that's totally different. However, someone who's embodied in their work will welcome your questions and they'll either send you to like an FAQ page or something like that. But if someone just wants you to just blindly follow them without questioning, that's a huge sign that they're a charlatan. That's a major red flag. Okay. Number 7, they don't have any testimonials. Major red sign, major, red alert, red alert, red alert. All right. They should either have testimonials or be like, hey, if you want to talk to one of my clients, here's their information. They would be happy to share with you their experience. So not everybody has that. However, if they don't have testimonials, that's not good. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. So the more that I channel on this, it's like how to spot a charlatan. I'm specifically talking about people in the spiritual space that are masquerading as something that they're not. And they're trying to guide you. They're trying to influence you. And, if we talk about the quote unquote spiritual space, all of life is the spiritual space. All of life is a spiritual space, right? People do this in music too. There's charlatans in music as well. It's like, it's very interesting. And for me, my challenge has been like, judgment is good. Using your judgment is good. People have demonized that. But I remember being told by my grandma used to say, use your best judgment. And it's like, I will use my best judgment. It's not about like judging like, hey, you're this and you're that, or like putting people down, but it is looking at shit neutrally and being like, this is what I see. This is not a limiting belief. This is what's actually happening. I can acknowledge the divinity of their soul and then also see right through the bullshit of their behavior, right through the bullshit of all these lies that they're portraying, all the smoke and mirrors. And part of that is if they don't have testimonials, if they don't have people singing their praises. And even if you're a new business, it's like when I was just starting out doing breath work, like I did a lot of trades and things, and I said, hey, if you feel called, write a testimonial because that really helps me as I'm building my business. And it's like, that really matters. That really matters. Okay. And so the last thing of how to spot a charlatan, intuition above all else, my friends. If you get a weird feeling, listen to it. Listen to it. Trust your yes. Trust your no. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. All right. Another Maya Angelou quote. She's coming in hot today. She's coming in hot today. Trust your intuition above all else. Like there's been so many moments with like spiritual teachers that, years and years later finds out, they were like part of all these like sexual assault things with their students and just doing all these crazy things and, perpetuating trauma. And it's just like a whole nother matrix there. Trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, it's off. If something feels off, it's off. And by the way, I have an episode coming soon and very soon all on intuition. So keep your eye out for that. But these are the 8 ways how to spot a charlatan. So why does this matter? Because you must be discerning about who you allow in your life. You must be discerning about who you allow in your energy field. You must be discerning about who you take advice from, who you believe. Like, not all feedback is created equal. And whether people realize it or not, if they are behaving and living as a charlatan, they are working for the agenda of darkness because they're blocking the light. It's false light. It's false light. It's not real. It's fake. And what they're doing with the false light is they're attaching to your real light and sucking it out of you. They're draining the life force out of you. They're making you not believe in yourself. They're making you doubt yourself. They're making you perpetuate trauma. It's so important to be aware of this and to act accordingly. All right. It's so deeply important. So I'm just going to go over those again. How to spot a charlatan. They don't live what they teach. They haven't created their own transformation. They're not trained, certified, or studied. It's the first thing they say, and they use it as a flex. They don't charge well. They don't charge good money for their gifts, their medicine, what they're doing. They don't welcome questions, and they don't know the science. They don't have testimonials, and intuition above all else. Another one's coming through really, really strong right now. If they don't have boundaries, run, don't walk in the opposite direction. There are so many people with zero boundaries, and it's very, very dirty energetically. If you're going to be holding space for someone's energetic healing, if you're going to be someone who's teaching on these principles, if you're going to be a leader, you must have squeaky clean boundaries. You must have squeaky clean integrity. And it's not about being perfect, but it's like, hey, even in the face of challenge, even in the face of times when I fell short, even in the face of all these things, I still have squeaky clean integrity. I still have squeaky clean boundaries. I still have squeaky clean, it's not about perfection. It's about the values that they're walking, not the values that they're saying, not the values that they claim. It's what are they walking? And if they don't have boundaries, that's a huge red flag. That means they're a charlatan, likely. Okay, so we've talked about what a charlatan is. We've talked about how to spot it. We've talked about, okay, why does this matter? Why is it important? Now we're going to talk about protecting your energy. So protecting your energy is really, 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 really important because this is your life force. This is your belief. This is your love. This is your soul. This is your creativity. This is your magic. This is how you feel good. This is how you keep going. This is just literally your fucking essence, okay, that you must protect. So there are energy vampires everywhere, whether they are deliberately sucking your energy or they're not consciously doing it, they're everywhere. And so it's just being aware of them and not allowing them to penetrate your energy, okay? So here's just a few really important ideas to protect your energy. So people don't talk about this idea of protecting. And this is the divine masculine. This is the sacred. It's like, I think about the castle, or I think about it like this. A rose has thorns for a reason, to protect it. All right. A castle has a moat for a reason, because it's a barrier to entry. It's protection. The same with your energy. Not everybody that wants your energy gets access to it. And a lot of people walk around their daily life with their energy totally open, which means anything can come in your body, in your spirit, in your energy body, all of that. We got to clean it up. We got to batten down the hatches so you can stay fortified in the real you. So first things first is choose your circle and exposure wisely. Wisely. I am pretty ruthless about my circle of friends, about my circle of influence, about the energy I surround myself with. There are certain stores that I don't go to anymore just because the energy in there doesn't feel good. And can I walk in there with my energy protected and be fine? Yes. Do I go there as much as I used to? Absolutely not. So just be very, very discerning about your inner circle. And like, as you experience this episode, you might be like, oh, there's people I'm around that actually are charlatans. Or maybe you're noticing this is where the real tea is. Are you noticing any of these in yourself? Because if you are, then you can transmute them. And it's not about a fault, it's about a responsibility and awareness, okay? And loving yourself through it and being like, because I love myself, I choose not to participate in this behavior anymore. You know what I mean? So choose your circle and your exposure wisely. This is making me think of COVID when I say this, because it's like, choose your circle, choose your pod, choose your exposure. But it's really, really true now more than ever. There's so much fear on the planet. There's so much pain. There's so much suffering. And it's not about like focusing on that all day, every day, but it's being aware of it and being like, I choose to surround myself in powerful places where the energy is clean, where it feels like harmony, where it feels like love, where it feels like joy. And love means, yeah, you get to cry together, but like your vulnerabilities are safe there, right? With a charlatan and with all of these, energetic vampires and the karmic purging of injustices, not everybody can, will, or is able to hold your vulnerability well. So you get to be incredibly discerning about who you share with. Okay. The other way to protect your energy seems really simple, but daily prayer and ritual for protection. So I say a prayer every day, like, please guide me, please bless me, please protect me, please make it clear to me. I say it every day. I ask for protection. I ask for divine intervention. And it's crazy because sometimes things will happen that are like very, very sudden. And I'm like, wow, I prayed into this. I must be being protected from something. And it's like the saying, I'm sure you've heard it, every rejection is redirection. So it's like every rejection, you're being redirected to something, like you're being protected. Like there's so many times in my life where I realized later on how protected I was just by my guides and life itself. So daily prayer and then ritual for protection. So I do a ring of 3 circles around my body every single morning. I call in Archangel Michael just to protect my body and my energy and everything. So that's something that I do. And my whole life is a ritual. I mean, I have candles, I'm burning Palo Santo. It's like, it's all about the sanctity of the space. So another thing is, think about the idea of, yes, we want to protect our energy, but if you think about containing your energy. So I first heard this from my teacher, Raquel, and it really changed my life. And it's like, when you're constantly trying to protect your energy, it's like very effortful. It's like, okay, I gotta constantly be on the lookout. I gotta be in constant protection mode. And it almost puts you in this defensive stance, and it can almost put you in a fight or flight, right? We don't want that. That's not helpful. That's not gonna really do what you need this practice to do. If you think about containing your energy, so if you put a circle of energy around your body and you just decide to contain it, like, hey, only my energy, I'm only in my energy. So it's like a force field. It's like you set it and forget it. And it's like things can bounce off me, they're not coming in. Things can try to come in, they're not coming in, because I decided that my energy is contained. So I could be in Target, I could be at a party, I could be at the beach, I could be in all these things. And I decided that my energy is contained. I contain my energy. I do this a lot at family gatherings because it can just be a lot for me. Like, especially as a projector, like my whole family is energy beings. Like I'm the only one that doesn't have a sacral. So it's like, I get conditioned really, really easily. And of course it's even more intense with family. So, I just contain my energy and I'm like, I'm in my own energy. No matter what's going on around me, I'm in my own energy, right? Okay, and then the last idea is really important. So in protecting your energy, part of it is not wasting your energy and giving it for things that are not efficient. So if you are in a community of people and you are the crazy dreamer, you're the one that has big dreams, you're the one that has big ambitions, you're the one that's always positive, you're always lifting everyone up, you're like all of that, and you feel drained. You're like, I'm just treading water. I'm just going through the motions. Like, this isn't even my potential. That's a sign for you to level up your community. And this is not about deleting everyone out of your life, but it is about limiting your exposure to negativity and energy vampires. And, if you're going to change your life, you got to change your community. Every single up level in my life came with a big up level in changing my community. And some people came with me and other people didn't, and that's okay. And so a really big way to protect your energy is making sure you're not just wasting it in the wrong community, right? Because you deserve to be in a place where the energy is of integrity, the energy is love, the energy is supportive, like all of that, where you're met equally, where you're seen equally, where you're loved equally. So, at the time of this recording, we're in a karmic south node purge in Libra, and Libra is all about relationships. It's like any relationship based in people pleasing, any relationship based in placating the comfort zones of others, any relationship that's not harmony must die, must be sacrificed into this eclipse. So that's a huge way of protecting your energy, is making sure you're in the correct relationships. And just knowing about charlatans and everything. So this is this transmission: how to spot a charlatan and protect your energy. This is so important, my love. I would love to hear from you. What hit you the most, like, about the charlatans, and what hit you the most about protecting your own energy? Like, please let me know. Email me, message me on Instagram, tag me in your Instagram stories, especially if this episode really resonated with you and what you're moving through on your path. Please share it with someone you love. And if you desire to go deeper into this work, if you desire to really embody this path of spiritual creation, I am welcoming new one-on-one mentorship clients right now. So this is for you if you are already in the game, if you are already committed to your vision and you want to get there faster, further, and with the things that actually will move the needle for you. So I focus a lot on consistent nervous system reset. I focus on doing everything with the astrology. I focus on habits for you, and I focus on structures and systems that are actually going to help you build the vision. So, and embody things like this, because here's the thing: knowing all of this is way different than living it. And that's what I do with my clients, is I take them from knowing it to living it. So if this is you, go to the link in the show notes and apply. I cannot wait to welcome my new one-on-one mentorship clients. And I am leading my first ever modality certification in summer 2024. So this is my invented modality of astrology breathwork for cellular manifestation. There are 5 spaces. One of them's already taken. There are 4 spaces left. This is my beta round. And this is for you if my modality has changed your life in such a way that you want to share it with others. That's why you would do this training. You would do it because you either want to deepen your understanding of this, and you want to share it with others as part of your impact on the world. Like, that is who it's for. So those are the 2 ways you can go deeper with me: one-on-one mentorship and the certification. If you wanted to do both, of course, we can bundle it. So all of the information is in the show notes. I love you so much. And I really want you to go out there with open eyes and an open heart and your intuition on point, and taking all of these frameworks and mindsets and ways of moving through the world seriously, for spotting charlatans, keeping your energy clean, protecting your energy, moving forward in power as we are in spiritual warfare right now. So I love you so much. I hope this served you. I hope this helped you. Go out there, be the change, be the light, be the real light amidst all the false light. Don't forget how amazing you are, how unique you are, how beautiful you are, how worthy you are. Go make a stranger smile, because it's fun and it charges the whole field and it makes a ripple beyond your wildest dreams. I love you so much. I believe in you. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.